So we're going to talk first. Johnny Depp's $50 million defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard kicks off today. Yes, with battle lines being drawn and circus atmosphere in the air. And that is very true. It is absolutely a circus atmosphere. So basically, I had a hard time wanting to talk about this. Mary was like, we should talk about this because I was explaining some of the stuff to her. But this is such an all-encompassing case that's been going on for so long now, especially on YouTube, that there are bigger channels that have really made their bones covering the absurdity that is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and like everything that means for culture as a whole, for popular culture. So I have a hard time wanting to like discuss it because I'm not the expert, but I can absolutely laugh at the absurdity of like how much attention we as like the general public give to like two rich people who are just clearly bad for one another, clearly weren't,
and for everyone else. Apparently,
it's like when if you're poor. If you're poor and your husband is poor and your wife is poor and everyone's poor and your relationship is kind of toxic, as they say, toxic, even though I hate that term, it may affect your family and your extended family. But imagine the hubris of being so rich that like, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to just feel this pain. You as a society are going to feel this pain with me. And that is really what we're going through right now. The courts are involved. And I do think that it's hard because originally I wanted to focus on it in that more esoteric sense, like what it means for a society when we put this much weight into what two people who clearly shouldn't have been together in the first place do to each other. But you kind of can't get into it without discussing like the sides. Her writing her op-ed about being in an abusive relationship where she not so subtly mentions, she doesn't say his name, but it's very clear that she's inferring Johnny Depp and him with all the awful crap that got, exactly, that's how he feels.
Sorry.
All the awful crap that has been done to him through her, but it's more about the fact that Fantastic Beasts is coming out this week. He was removed from that movie.
I know.
She is still
Shameful.
working. And if that's not, like, in her article, she talks about the wrath of culture coming down on her for speaking truth to power about rich men in Hollywood. But his is the career that's suffering, not hers.
I mean, I haven't seen her in a while, besides that Justice League movie.
Well, she's got Aquaman 2 coming out. There was a big petition online of several, like 100,000 signatures or more to get her removed from that movie. As we all know that literally nothing in the world has ever changed because of change.org. I think it's actually the opposite. I think
it's a way to keep things as they are.
Yeah.
Like, let's make a change petition.org so it never changes.
It's like literally like, well, because most people aren't going to be like, they care, but they only care enough to like go to a website and click a button. They don't care to actually go out and lobby for something.
Hey, Brett.
What?
I care.
Do you? That's what I love about you.
Thanks, man.
You're a caring person. So it says they're intending to pick the jury by the end of the day with opening arguments to begin in front of a Virginia judge, Penny Ascarati. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Tomorrow, the well-covered case will certainly be quick under appeal no matter who wins in this long-delayed round. As fired Fantastic Beast star, I want you to highlight that part, fired Fantastic Beast star Johnny Depp tries to figuratively flip his November 2020 UK loss in a, quote, wife-beater libel action against Rupert Murdoch's tabloid The Sun, which has a $100 million countersuit looming. Yeah, he sued The Sun and lost, and that was bad. But so they talk about here in this other article from the Washington Post, the democracy dies in darkness.
Do you know what the funniest thing about this tiff is?
What?
They met each other on the set of what is quite possibly like Johnny Depp's like most like whatever movie.
The Rum Diary?
The Rum Diaries.
Yeah.
Ironically hosted in Puerto Rico.
Oh, so you know about this movie. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it either,
Okay.
but I kind of know what it's about. And it's like the ultimate like from theaters to DVD movie.
Yeah.
And like like both of their lives have been ruined.
Yes. Oh yeah, just decimated. Like she's still getting work. But it's not like she's poisoned now. Like nobody's gonna wanna, like a lot of people won't want to work with her. Like would you want to this much bad press in your production? She's still gonna get work because of feminism, but he's not getting the work that.
I mean, if you're making an indie film, let's say you got like some budget, like enough budget to get Amber Heard. Yeah, you'll get a get her to get like a little bit of friction
Yep.
in the movie, a little bit of eyes.
Give her like a small role.
You could give her any kind of role. Just the fact that she's in the movie will like start turning heads.
In Johnny Depp, that's what he did last year. He did like an indie film. I think it was filmed a couple of years ago that nobody saw because it was like Minimata or something like that. I forget what the name of it was. But he did like an indie film, and like I think he could have like a weird renaissance where he like goes and does smaller budget films until he's viable to bring back for Captain Jack Sparrow. Because if they make that Margot Robbie female Pirates of the Caribbean movie, We Ride at Dawn, to protest, because that shouldn't be made.
I mean, at this point, you've ransacked the Caribbean. Like, how many more of those movies are you gonna make?
Off topic. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean?
It's Caribbean only if you're talking about the movie, obviously.
But otherwise, it's the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I have no opinion on this. It's my job to have opinions on this. I take no stance.
I do. That's why I'm here.
No strong opinions.
Good job.
So it says Depp alleges, it says the complaint states Depp's reputation and career were devastated after Heard's first domestic violence accusation in 2016. But the op-ed brought new damage. Disney dropped Depp from the lucrative Pirates of the Caribbean franchise 4 days after it's published. The op-ed's clear implication that Depp is a domestic abuser is categorically and demonstrably false. Mr. Depp never abused Miss Heard. Her allegations against him were false. When they were made in 2016, they were part of an elaborate hoax to generate positive publicity for Heard and advance her career. Using the term elaborate hoax is dangerous because then people are going to start thinking like, as Tim would say, like you start thinking of mustache twirling bad guys.
She doesn't seem that smart. She just seems
I think she is
crazy.
I think she's that calculating. Maybe I don't know if smart's the word you want to use for it. There was a thing where she put makeup on her face to make herself look like she had a black eye when she went to court.
I keep learning more.
And then there's the
what are the light?
I'm going to bring these up because I brought these up last time and I kind of shocked Dane, but I just want to make a reference to you guys so you know what we're talking about in this case. It says Amber Heard is seen smirking, rolling her eyes, and nibbling on cookies as she's forced to listen to herself admitting on tape that she clocked Johnny Depp in the face. That is like, you can literally see the still, like they literally, I love, like, I want to know who the intern was who's going like right arrow frame by frame to find her as she rolls her eyes in the shot. And that's what we're looking at here. It's like that story about the woman, not to get too off topic, the girl who accused the two like college basketball players or college football players of like rape, and then they found video like years later. I may be misremembering this. The guys were like clearly out. They were like at like a store when she said this happened, and when this girl got like a year in jail for falsely accusing two guys who lost their scholarships, she like rolled her eyes at the judge. Like, that's what this feels like to me. She's like, she knows she's guilty of it. She doesn't care. She's got she does not have any shame in this sense. And like literally that third is, what is it? The 1, 2, 3, 4, like the third frame down. She's like, oh, boo hoo. And then in the fourth one, she's like, I'm bored now. So it's clearly a toxic relationship that I broke Dane's brain when I told him last time about how she crapped in his bed. And my favorite one being how when he said, you're like abusing me, she basically told him he's a baby and that no one would believe him, which is, now if we're to believe that, now if all
pretty much what happened,
if all of that is true, right? Now, even if he was an abusive person, right? And she did all that, then they're both pieces of shit. Like, it doesn't matter anymore whether he's guilty or she's guilty. If we take it to its logical conclusion, they're just both bad.
Are you saying they're like equally responsible?
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying that we shouldn't. Like, it sucks that we have to give this much attention and time because it's so culturally relevant.
Well, no, it's a symbiotic relationship.
I
get out of observing their dysfunction.
For a long time, people would tell me that they're like archive.today, or like to use like the Wayback Machine to get your articles for when we do this stuff. I'm like, we're using it for our own material. I'm not going to, go get an archived version of something. I understand that it benefits us to cover it, but I'm speaking more on like society as a whole, and I think that everyone agrees that we give too much we put too much stock in what celebrities do with their lives, because a lot of people still look at them as these bastions of goodness and truth when we all know that that's objectively false.
I don't mean just us, but I think that the public as a whole has a benefit from observing their dysfunction, because just simply because of that, they're idolized, and then their dysfunction takes them off of the pedestal.
And that's what I guess, yeah, you want to hope that if we can't knock down the idea of celebrity as a whole as something to shoot for, you can at least knock down the individuals as they're elevated and then find out that they're not that, they're just regular people.
I just think it's like the perfect example of what happens when you base a relationship purely on looks.
Oh, yeah. And
Because
she is,
it's clearly what happened for both. They just got so enamored with like, oh my God, he's so cute. She's so beautiful. And like, it was like the shallowest relationship of all time between two like extremely shallow people. And this is the result.
Yeah.
It's like a super dumpster fire.
She wrote a public statement before they started the trial where she talks about, she goes, this is from her Instagram. She says, I'm going to go offline for the next several weeks. As you may know, I'll be in Virginia where I face my ex-husband, Johnny Depp, in court. Johnny is suing me for an op-ed I wrote in the Washington Post in which I recounted my experience of violence and domestic abuse. I never named him. Rather, I wrote about the price women pay for speaking out against men in power. I continue to pay that price, but hopefully when this case concludes, I can move on, and so can Johnny. I have always maintained a love for Johnny, and it brings me great pain to have to live out the details of our past life together in front of the world. At this time, I recognize the ongoing support I've been fortunate to receive. Yeah. Okay, so to me, that's bullshit. I don't think she has any love for Johnny. I think a PR person wrote that. If it wasn't them, then they coached her on what to say, most likely.
I mean, I don't know how they could coach her on what to say because it comes up extremely unlikable and unrelatable. So it kind of feels like it's from her.
What she's saying here?
Yeah.
How is that unrelatable?
I don't know. I just don't like. I just don't think
like
it's
a highly manicured statement coming from somebody who's going through
that's why
a situation
that's why I felt
objectively chaotic.
Yeah, that's why I felt like it felt like a publicist wrote it,
Yeah.
because it doesn't feel like a lot was said without saying anything at all.
it has that little bit of petty that like kind of like a publicist would take off the petty. It would just be like, this is a learning
That
experience.
I continue
for
to pay
me.
that price part.
I think like the whole energy of it.
Yeah, like, I think
as
you're
a
right.
whole, when you read the whole thing,
Yeah,
like it's not like, you know, like measured and like unemotional. It's definitely like emotional and like with a little bit of resentment.
I think you're right. If she had taken off the "I continue to pay that price" part, it would have said, "I wrote about the price women pay for speaking out against men in power, but hopefully when this case concludes, I can move on, and so can Johnny." That takes out the petty.
Right. I think it's her attempt to write as a publicist. You know, like it's her attempt to write at like the most publicist thing she can write. I don't think a publicist would, you know, like a publicist might be even, you know, cautious of using names. You know.
Yeah. Yep. I'm in a law as you know, I am in a lawsuit currently, and it wouldn't even list the party if it was a publicist writing.
I didn't
right?
know you were in a lawsuit.
No, I'm saying if they had said that.
Okay. I was
no,
like,
I'm
what?
saying like
What?
I'm saying like in this article she says
Like, what's going
she
on?
says that she's in a lawsuit in this here.
Yeah. You mean Amber Heard, not you?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. She
Yeah,
would have
I
said
got
that without naming the person.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Well, I mean that's the way. Yeah.
Yep. Depp has filed a $50 million lawsuit.
50 million too.
50 million. Well, I mean, if you look at so he loses Pirates, he loses Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. What is the payout?
He does have grounds for those damages, yeah, but it's just an amount of money that like nobody can even quantify in their head.
Yeah. Does she have 50 million in the bank for this?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
She's probably worth in the I think tens of millions. But I remember there was also a controversy where this like she didn't she was supposedly going to donate all of her divorce settlement to charity, and then they're like, did she actually donate it? They like she donated the first part. Like I said, I'm not speaking on it because like there's like this stuff like when too much comes out that's bad in one direction, I'm automatically suspicious. Like if one person looks like the bad person you know, it's the same way. Like if Johnny's made out to be a monster and all the articles say he's a monster, I'm hesitant to believe that that's necessarily true because it feels like it's forcefully pushed. In this case, I'm going basically off these articles from the Daily Mail, which are older, but I'm hesitant to believe that it's all her fault. I think it's likely a result of both people just being bad for each other, but she's reaping the benefits of being in a society now which is more likely to want to protect the woman in a bad relationship than the man, not taking into account that she was abusive towards him.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like a world-renowned womanizer.
Well, that makes him a dickhead. It doesn't make him abusive.
I mean,
that makes him bad for cheating. It doesn't mean that
hand in hand, you know.
He's not exactly attracting the best relationships.
He's
the
not.
most stable women into his life.
So, apparently not. So, but like he had remember like his past girlfriends or something came to his defense saying he's never been violent before in his life. Like I'd never encountered any type of violence. And if you break up with someone and you're still willing to defend them, that
for
is
a couple bucks, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if
maybe.
That's good. You're asking questions.
I believe nothing and no one.
So
Brett.
who knows? But we will see. All I know is that I wouldn't let her sleep in my bed for fear of what she might do.
On that one.
Yeah, right.
Stay in my bed, not sleep in my bed. Yes, I would be.
You heard it here first.
Or okay, let's rephrase that. I would be wary of annoying her or pissing her off if she was in my bed. How about that? Is that fair?
It is fair.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like anybody here is actually turning her down if she ends up in your bed, but you're not going to let her be angry there. That I do say.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Her body language in this video is so telling.
She's terrifying. I'm
just waving her hands around so flippantly, just like
I can literally hear
nonsense.
If I'd see her, I'd run the other way.
Oh yeah, terrifying. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.